Chapter 9. The drums are so loud, I can feel them through the soles of my boots, and I'm sweating so much that drops of water roll down my back. The music cascades into a wave that washes over all of us up in the front, arms pulsing, bodies writhing, and up on stage, Eli is controlling it all. My eyes are closed as I let the beat move through me, but I can feel the heat and vibrations of the crowd as they press toward the front of the stage. Some people singing, others jumping and pumping fists in the air as the guys ram their instruments harder and faster, building to a crescendo that suddenly drops off a cliff to a momentary silence before the deafening applause and whistles fill the small club. I'm so glad I caved and agreed to see Eli again. This is just what I needed tonight, an escape from Stanford pressures, from the cops, from Ava. The bass player plucks the intro to the next song, and many people in the crowd whistle in anticipation. Eli stands at the front of the band, looking back at the drummer, his guitar slack in front of him, one hand on the microphone, waiting for his turn to join in. His skin is glistening with effort, and I can see the glint of euphoria as he turns back to the crowd, momentarily locking eyes with me and flashing a quick smile. There's always a hum of energy around him, like something special could happen at any second. But now I can see how truly alive he is when he's up on stage, orchestrating the emotions of hundreds of people at the same time. He licks his lips and leans towards the microphone, and I realize that I'm standing completely still in the middle of the pulsing bodies, the desire I feel for him at this very moment threatening to overwhelm me. I feel a hand on my arm and turn to hear a girl shouting into my ear, "I'm going for a drink! You want to come?" For a second I can't remember her name, but then it comes to me in a rush. Lindsay, the drummer's girlfriend. I glance back at Eli, wanting nothing more than to stand here and marvel at the change that's come over him. But I'm not so far gone that I don't recognize an opportunity when I see one. "Sure," I say, taking one last look at Eli as I turn away. She and the other band girlfriends were nice enough when I met them before the show, but there's a general wariness that hangs over all of them, and I'm guessing that I'm not the first girl he's brought to a club. As she grabs my hand to lead me through the crowd toward the bar, I wonder what suddenly changed to make her actually want to talk to me. We push through and get two tight spots against the wooden counter, and she pulls out a few crumpled bills from the pocket of her jeans and tries to straighten them out on top of the bar. "I hate carrying a bag," she says with an apologetic shrug. I reach into the tiny purse with the long strap that Ava loaned me and fish out my wallet. "Let me get this," I say, kneading her a peace offering with one of my own. "Thanks," she says, shoving the bills back into her pocket. I hold the bill in my hand like I've seen other people do, not so high up that it looks like I'm waving it in the bartender's face, but high enough so she can't miss it. "They sound good tonight," Lindsay offers tentatively, turning around to put her elbows on the bar to get a better look at the band. I glance back, keeping one eye on the bartender. "Yeah, they do." I hesitate. I can't tell one song from another yet, but Ava said she's seen Eli's band a few times. This is my favorite song. Lindsay nods in time with the music. "Yeah, Eli really got this one right. I love the line about feeling like you're holding part of his soul in your hand." I smile, because that is my favorite part too. I've tried to hold back, give myself a dose of reality whenever I can, but watching him on stage gives me a sense of longing that actually makes my chest ache. Can Alicia have a relationship? Can she have one if I don't tell Ava? The thought of never seeing Eli again makes me miss him already, but how could I possibly tell him now that I'm really Lexi? He'd never forgive me for lying to him, and besides, he'd never like the real me. I glance back at the stage. If I want to keep seeing Eli, I have to keep being Alicia. The bartender finally catches my eye and walks over, rubbing the bar casually with a wet rag. "What can I get you, ladies?" I pull myself up to my full height. Alicia would definitely go for it. "I'll have a Corona," I say. I turn to Lindsay. "You want one too?" The bartender shakes her bright red hair and grins. "Nice try." "I lost my ID." I give her what I hope is a sincere smile, but am afraid I just look terrified. "Look, that didn't work last night and it's not going to work tonight." I wasn't here last night. Don't give me that crap. I have a memory for faces. You stood right here and tried to give me some story about losing your ID. My mind races, trying to remember where Ava said she was last night. Why is she being so secretive all of a sudden? Fine, I say with a shrug. Can't kill me for trying. So a Coke for you? The bartender turns to Lindsay. I'm assuming your ID has also mysteriously disappeared. I'll have a Diet Coke, she says, not even bothering. Diet Coke. Damn, that's what Alicia would get. I totally forgot. I look at the bartender, but changing my order now would look weird. Lindsay grins at me as the bartender turns to get our drinks. You had to give it a shot. Yeah. Weird that she thought you were here last night. I try to play it off. It happens sometimes. My sister looks a lot like me. Oh, she says vaguely. Eli must not have said anything about us being triplets. We watch the band for a few minutes before she speaks again. Did you hear that Melissa got them some gigs up in Seattle next week? I'm going to try to drive up with some of the other girls. Are you going? My heart sinks as I realize that Eli hasn't mentioned it at all. Not like I could go, with school and all. But it might be nice to get asked. I'm trying to come up with an intelligent answer when a dark-haired girl walks up and punches Lindsay in the arm. Where the hell did you run off to? I go to pee and you vanish. Lindsay shrugs. I was thirsty, so sue me. The girl glances at me and then turns completely towards Lindsay so that I'm staring at the heart tattoo on the back of her left shoulder. I haven't totally figured her out yet. She seems to have some kind of relationship with Danny, the bass player, but I saw him with his arm around another girl backstage, so I'm guessing it's not exclusive. She leans down and whispers something to Lindsay that I can't hear, and the two of them burst into laughter. The bartender comes back with our drinks, so I slip her some money and push Lindsay's drink towards her on the bar. The dark-haired girl grabs Lindsay's hands and pulls her back toward the stage, but as she goes, Lindsay smiles at me and raises her glass. Thanks for the drink. Don't mind Rebecca. She's the girl Eli wrote a song about last year, and she's a little bitter about it. Rebecca. So this is the jealous ex that Eli was talking about. As if she can hear me, she turns and glares in my direction, planting herself right in front of Eli and mouthing all the words as he sings, stanking her claim. She's been around a lot longer than I have, and she's not letting that go easily. I watch Eli sing the last chorus, lifting one arm behind him as he pours all his energy into the song. Rebecca and Lindsay are swallowed up by the hands waving in front of the stage. I glance around the crowded club and feel a sense of satisfaction. Regardless of what Rebecca thinks, Alicia belongs in a place like this. She totally fits in with the makeup and the leather boots and the people who are just out to have a good time. An hour later, the lights are on and the disgusting reality of a club after closing is revealed. One of the bartenders sweeps the grungy floor as the guys pack up their instruments on stage. Lindsay and some other girls are sitting in a clump in one of the fake leather booths, waiting for the guys to be done. I don't see Rebecca anywhere, and I wonder if she's actually giving up. Eli's finished first, jumps down off the stage, and crosses towards where I'm sitting on a bar stool, trying to stay out of the way. Hey, he says, his eyes still shining with excitement. I'm glad you came. He puts his hand on my arm for just a split second, but that's all it takes. A small group of girls who have been hanging by the back door turn away at this possessive gesture, and I smile. Eli's taken, all right, at least for tonight. He reaches behind me for the glass that contains mostly brown-tinted melted ice. Can I have the rest of this? Of course, I say, enjoying his assumption that we share glasses now. Melissa comes over and hands Eli a small white envelope. She's the band manager and is the only one in the group legally allowed to drink. Here's your cut. Thanks, Eli says, shoving the envelope into his back pocket. He glances at the clock up on the wall above the bar. Do you have to go home soon? He asks me. No, I say. No school tomorrow because of spring break. Not like Alicia would care. I almost tell him I don't have to be home at all, but I tuck that information into my back pocket like my own small white envelope, ready to pull out if I need it later. When Cecilia's not working, she spends her days and nights at her sister's house, and her cousin Francesca comes to stay with us if Dad's gone. Unlike Cecilia, who stays up and waits for us even when she pretends she's not, Francesca is a deep sleeper, so as long as we're home by daybreak, it's fine. Information that is usually only useful for Ava. I smile up at him. I've got time tonight. Excellent, he says, flashing me a smile. Melissa's girlfriend, Amy, walks up and gives her a big kiss on the back of her neck. She's as tall and blonde as Melissa is, tiny and dark, but somehow they suit each other perfectly. Melissa turns and kisses her squarely on the mouth, and for a second I'm jealous of their closeness, of the ease they have together, and the permission they have to kiss each other in public. I can feel Eli standing so close to me, and I wonder if he'll ever kiss me like that. It's still like 1,000,000 degrees out there, Amy complains, and the AC in the van is broken. Let me go give out the rest of the money and I'll meet you outside, Melissa answers. Everyone drags themselves towards the open back door, where the air is only a few degrees cooler than it is inside. It's one of those stagnant inland nights with no breeze, and for a moment I wish I could invite everyone back to my house for a midnight pool party. So what now? Amy asks. Denny's in Carlsbad? At least it'll be cooler by the beach. How about Water Ridge? Lindsay tosses out, one hand tucked into Adam's back pocket. Amy whirls around. Oh yes, we haven't done that for ages. Nods and murmurs go through the group, and it seems like the decision is made. I don't feel like Water Ridge, Rebecca says, walking up and grabbing Danny's arm possessively. Then don't come, Amy says, a hint of annoyance in her voice. Come on, what else are you gonna do? Lindsay asks. Rebecca glares at Eli and me standing so close together. I almost expect him to say something in view of such open hostility, but he doesn't. He just looks at the ground sheepishly. Fine, she finally says. I'll go to stupid Water Ridge with you guys. Put your crap in the van, let's go. Melissa agrees, and the guys shove the black instrument cases and amps into the back of the dented white panel van. I keep my eyes on Rebecca as she climbs into Danny's car. What's Water Ridge? I asked. Eli turns to me, his features made sharper by the lights of the passing cars. You've never been to Water Ridge? Nope, I say. Never even heard of it. And here I thought you hadn't had a deprived childhood, he says. Don't worry, you'll like it. He grins. You can run fast, can't you? I say, not sure how to answer that. Don't worry, if there's trouble, I'll take care of it. I study Eli, who has an expectant look on his face. Everyone else in the group is already in their cars and heading out of the parking lot towards the street. Ordinarily, I'd never do something like this. Get into a car late at night, bound for destinations unknown. Although this is probably something Ava would do, and definitely something Alicia would do. If only to make sure that Eli isn't alone with Becca. Let's go, I say, opening the door to Eli's truck. I suddenly want to be somewhere far away from my real life. With Eli. He smiles and climbs in, and we follow Melissa and Amy out of the parking lot and onto the empty street. Chapter 10. After about 15 minutes of driving, we turn into some kind of office park. Tall cement buildings with hundreds of windows surrounding tiny patches of lawn. I see a large metal sign at the entrance to one of the buildings. Water Ridge. Eli glances around at the big empty parking lot and flips his lights off as all the cars park as close to the building as we can. Everyone is quiet as they drag themselves out of the cars, the only sounds some muffled laughter and scraping and squeaking as doors open and close. Melissa grabs a boogie board from the back of the van and hands another one to Eli. I look around at the silent, empty buildings. What are we doing here? Lindsay hears me and laughs from outside Adam's truck. Oh, a Water Ridge virgin! Nice! Melissa grins. We're going swimming. I take in the acres of asphalt and dozens of buildings. Where? There, Eli says, pointing to a giant fountain that cascades in levels in front of the tallest building. Even though it's in the middle of the night, the water is flowing and shoots down the side until it ends in a dark pool at the bottom. Is it legal? I ask. Rebecca's standing by Danny's Eldorado. talking quietly with the other guitarist's girlfriend, and laughs at my words. A short bark that echoes off the tall concrete buildings. Right. You're not afraid, are you? I look up at the tall fountain, feeling a ball of fear in the pit of my stomach. I fight back my natural reaction. No. Eli grabs my hand and gives a reassuring squeeze. Don't worry. Just stick with me and you'll be fine. It's all part of the fun. Melissa pulls her shirt over her head, steps out of her jeans, and kicks them into a pile by the front tire. A quick glance around tells me that everyone else is doing the same thing. Lindsay walks over to me in her bra and underwear like she's wearing a bikini at the 18th Street beach. Come on, you don't want to get your clothes wet. Just leave them by the car so you'll know where they are in a hurry. Here, I'll go first, Eli says, grabbing his shirt and pulling it over his head. I hope my gasp isn't audible as I take in his taut stomach and smooth skin. I had no idea what he was hiding under there. It's hard not to reach out and run my hand over his chest. It's no big deal, he says, kicking off his jeans until he's standing there in a pair of tight boxer briefs, making exaggerated muscles with his arms. He's the tiniest bit bow-legged, but his legs are strong and muscled. Too late, I realize I'm staring. Okay, I say, taking a deep breath and quickly undoing the buttons on my top. I'm seriously glad when I realize I'm wearing one of Ava's deep purple lace bras. I feel Eli's eyes on me, and he shoots me a smile as I pull off the skirt I'm wearing and toss it down next to his jeans. I resist the urge to cross my hands in front of my chest. I just keep telling myself it's no different from a bathing suit, even if I don't really believe that. Let's do it, Amy says, leading the way up the concrete steps. Eli reaches back and grabs my hand, and I feel my heart race with the possibility that in one casual gesture, I love the feeling of connecting with him, if only for this one crazy night. I feel a sense of possessiveness come over me, and I glance back to make sure Rebecca's watching. She is, her face unreadable. We walk up several flights of stairs at the side of the building until we're at the landing at the top chute of the fountain, the water rushing out in front of us. Melissa disappears around a corner, and the lights in the pool below flick on, making colored streaks in the water. Turn those off, Amy says. Rebecca looks sad. Oh, come on. It's so much prettier when the lights are on. You know security always comes faster when they're on. I want to get a couple of runs in at least. Fine, Rebecca says, walking back around the corner. In seconds, the water below is dark again. Security? I ask Eli. My heart is racing, and I can feel my face getting hot. It's okay. Follow me, he says. Melissa, let her have your board. I'll bring it right back up. He hands me her board. It's just like a water slide. Give me a 20-second head start and then you go. Eli positions himself at the mouth of the rushing water and dives in on top of the board. There are muffled whoops and cheers as he rides the wave down to the next level of the fountain and disappears around the corner. Go ahead, Lindsay encourages. I look behind me at everyone watching expectantly, and I know Rebecca is hoping I'll chicken out. So much of me wants to hand the board to Melissa and walk back down the steps, but I can't. Because Alicia wouldn't. She would have been the first one down the chute, screaming all the way. I turn back around and take several deep breaths before pushing myself into the current. The water reeks of chlorine as it rushes by me, and I squeal as the cold waves wrap around my body. In seconds, I've done the top of the fountain, and I stand in the shallows to position myself for the next level. I gingerly lower myself into the waterfall and ride the next 2 levels until I splash down in the darkened shallow pool at the bottom. You did it! Eli laughs and reaches down to pull me out of the way. I check to make sure that nothing's popping out up top and reach back to discreetly fix the massive wedgie I got on the way down. That was cool! Let's run these back up and give everyone else a turn. We walk quickly up the concrete steps, our feet leaving wet trails on the still warm stone. A couple of the guys have already gone down without boards, so we hand the boards to Lindsay and Rebecca for their turns. We're so high up that the breeze is cooling everything off quickly, and I start to shiver as we stand and wait to get the boogie boards back. Come here, Eli says, pulling me close to him and rubbing my arms. At first I'm still shivering, but then I let myself relax into the warmth of his body. believing for just 1 second that nothing bad could ever happen if I only freeze this moment. I glance over at Amy and Melissa, who are pressed up against the cement wall making out, their hands wandering over each other's bodies, having seemingly forgotten why we're up here in the first place. Eli follows my gaze and grins. "Looks like they have the right idea," he says, curling a strand of my wet hair around his finger. I can feel the moment change as the grin slips from his face and his eyes meet mine. I lean into him just the smallest bit, giving him permission to do what I wanted to do all night long. His lips are soft, gentle at first, and then more urgent as he bends down to kiss me, grabbing both my hands and wrapping my fingers up with his. I ease my hands free and put my arms around his neck, pulling him closer to me until every inch of our skin is touching. I hear the laughter and approaching footsteps as Lindsay and Rebecca come back up, and I pull away from Eli just as they round the corner. "Break it up," Lindsay says. She tosses the boards at us. "Your turn again." Eli grins and kisses my neck one last time. It feels like so much has changed between us in just a few short seconds. I see Rebecca turn away from us and then grab Danny as he walks by, pulling him down into an embrace of her own. "You go first this time," Eli says, walking over to the edge of the water. "You just want to watch her ass," Danny yells from behind us. "Shut up," Eli yells back, but I can see he's smiling. "It's a free country," I say, taking a couple of running steps and jumping onto the boogie board as I get swept away. I can hardly believe the things that come out of my mouth when I'm Alicia. Suddenly, I feel a weight in my chest. I can't be her forever. At midnight or 2 o'clock or sometime next week, I'm going to turn back into Lexi and everything will change. In a few seconds, Eli lands next to me and I push off with my arms, dragging my body through the shallow water to the other side of the pool, away from the landing site. It's so much warmer in the water that I just lie there with only my face sticking out, looking up at the stars and trying not to think about the inevitable. Eli splashes over to me after handing the boards off to Adam to take back up. We lie in the knee-deep water and I can feel him reaching for my hand. "You having fun?" "It's awesome," I say, trying to keep all traces of sadness out of my voice. He squeezes my fingers and is about to say something else when we hear a shout from above us. "Flashlights! It's security!" We scramble to our feet and splash our way to the side, leap over the concrete wall, and land on the lawn below. I can hear muffled screams as everyone else runs down the stairs. I look up and see several flashlights flickering on the highest landing as they search back and forth. "Head for the truck!" Eli shouts, giving me a little push in the right direction. "Grab your clothes and just jump in!" I reach the door just as I see a small white car with yellow flashing lights turn in the driveway that leads to the complex. "They're coming!" I yell. I scramble for my clothes, dropping my skirt 3 times before I finally get it all and climb into the cab and slam the door behind me. Eli starts the truck and peels out of the parking lot spot with his headlights still off. "See if everyone got to their cars," he says, racing to the other end of the lot. "I see Adam's car moving," I say, "and the lights just went on in the van." "Did Rebecca get back?" he asks. "Is she with Danny?" I don't like the urgency in his voice. Rebecca is Danny's problem now. I see Danny's Eldorado still parked in the lot. "I don't think they made it." Eli turns and waits at the end of the lot near the exit, peering through the windshield. "Shit, we have to go back." He starts to race back in that direction when we see the lights in the car flick on. "They're in! Go, go!" I say, watching the flashing lights of the security car get closer. Eli throws the stick into first gear and guns it out of the parking lot, followed closely by Melissa and Amy in the van. My heart is pounding as we race down the industrial road toward the freeway. "Are the security guys following us?" Eli asks, his eyes glancing in the rearview mirror. I look back, but see only the 2 cars in the white van. I don't think so. Eli breaks into a grin and the car slows a little. "They don't usually chase us once we're out of the office park." He pulls over to the side of the road and Melissa's van passes us, honking as Amy waves from the passenger seat. Let's just throw our clothes on here. Does that happen a lot? I ask as I sit back in the seat and try to calm down. Pretty much every time, he answers, his breath still coming fast from the excitement. But worth it, right? I fish around for my shirt, realizing that I'm not self-conscious at all, even though I'm sitting in a cute guy's truck in nothing but my wet underwear and bra. Say what you want about Alicia, she knows how to have a good time. Totally, I answer. I look back at the parking lot in the distance and see one lone blue car off to the side, almost hidden in the shadows of the street lamps. Someone didn't make it out. Whose car is that? Eli glances back. I don't know. I saw it too. Must be somebody who works there. Nobody in the band has a Honda. A thread of uneasiness winds around my body at his words. I don't say anything, but I don't think it belongs to anyone who works there. The parking lot was empty when we pulled in. I'm sure of it. There's a bright yellow sports car parked next to Ava's Mercedes in our driveway when I get home. It's an old car, but totally restored, down to the shiny chrome tailpipe and the Playboy bunny ornament hanging from the rearview mirror. Charming. I expect to see Ava and whoever owns the car in the family room, but the house is quiet and Ava's door is closed when I walk down the back hallway. My hair is still wet and I'm carrying Alicia's boots as I pass the big mirror in the hallway. Most of my eye makeup is gone and my lips only have a hint of color on them. Still more than Lexi would have on a good day, I think, as I stop and look more closely. So apparently Alicia's a little sluttier than we thought, Ava says from the doorway of her room, scaring me half to death. Jesus, I whisper. And she's not slutty. I didn't sleep with him. Ava wanders down the hall to take a better look, peering into my face. Your lips look puffy, and it's way past curfew. I can't help the grin on my face, remembering how we must have looked running for the truck in our underwear. Alicia's not slutty, but she's not Amish. Ava takes one hand and pulls at a strand of my wet hair. Skinny dipping? God, no! I smile, but close. Ava grins too, her eyebrows raised in expectation. And he kissed you? Yeah, but I didn't break any of the rules. I hesitate, not knowing why I'm letting her get to me so much. Why didn't you tell me about Rebecca? What's the deal? Ava says dismissively. She's a crazy ex-girlfriend. She got in my face one night at the club. Luckily some of her friends pulled her away, or I would have had to deal with her myself. Somehow I doubt that. Ava wouldn't risk messing up her clothes just to take care of Rebecca. Well, thanks for the heads up. She's still hanging around. What do you care? He's just a band boy. Ava yawns and shakes her head. Crap, girl. I know that look anywhere. You like him. He's nice, I say, not wanting to give too much away. He is, she says, for a pickup driving lead guitarist. She leans towards me and whispers, he's perfect for Alicia, not Lexi. I hate the way she says that, but I can't deny that it's true. Right, like I'm gonna tell him the truth anyway. Hey Eli, you know the first few times you went out with Alicia? Well, that was really Ava. The last few times, it was really me. And Alicia doesn't really exist. Yeah, that's a conversation I want to have. Besides, Eli likes Alicia. Guys like him don't go out with Lexi. Speaking of cars, who owns that stoner-mobile up front? Shh. Ava glances nervously at her door. I hear the toilet in her bathroom flush, and a few seconds later, a tall guy with sandy blonde hair appears behind her, wearing nothing but boxers. Why are we up? He asks, nuzzling the back of her neck until she giggles. Lexi, she says with an unnatural emphasis on my name. This is Dylan. Hey. Dylan glances at me quickly and then doubles back with a leer. I'd have to be an idiot not to know what he's thinking. Twin fantasies are so old, they're cliche. I stare at the two of them. And you're on me for breaking the rules. Ava leans into Dylan, who puts both arms around her waist. Some rules were meant to be broken. Come on, Alicia, let's go break a few more, he says, trying to pull my sister back into her room. Ava slaps his hands away playfully. I'll be there in a second, she says, pushing him back towards the open door. And who was accusing who of being slutty? I ask the second he's gone. Rule number 2, don't sleep with any of the guys. Sound familiar? Ava pulls the door shut behind her. Oh, come on, she says, glancing backwards. Did you see him? Like I'm going to let that go home alone? I just shake my head. Not like I expect anything else. Never mind the fact that she knew Alicia was already out with Eli. Cecilia's coming home tomorrow, so make sure everything looks decent. I glance towards her room, and that certain people aren't still hanging around. I will, she promises, opening the door and slipping quietly into her bedroom.